everyone, Jamie Trull here, your favorite CPA and financial literacy coach. And today we have a really important topic. And that topic is how much to pay yourself as a business owner. Okay, this is a question I get all the time. How much should I pay myself? And of course, I have to give the most annoying accounting answer ever, which is, it depends. Right? So it always depends on your situation and your goals for your business and your goals in your life, right? And your financial situation and tax brackets and all kinds of things. But don't worry, I'm going to give you some actual real advice here as to figuring out how much to pay yourself and how much you should pay yourself as a small business owner. Now, I am a pretty big advocate of paying yourself. I know that there are some people out there that will encourage you to always be reinvesting back into your business, especially in the early stages of business. But I actually believe that it is important to be taking something out of your business from, pretty much very, very early on. Okay. So maybe not day one, but maybe by day 100, that you are actually taking some money, even if it's not a lot, out of your business to be able to pay yourself. Why do I say that? Well, because if you're not taking money out in either owner draws or salary, you are essentially working for free. If you are reinvesting everything back into your business, you are working for free. Now, that may work if you maybe are independently wealthy or have some other income that you're relying on. Maybe you've got a trust fund. I don't know. I don't judge. But I think that for the majority of people who are starting businesses, it is important that they are also making an income from that business. And I also think that even just from the standpoint of setting a precedent for yourself, you don't want to set the precedent of always reinvesting back into your business 100%. Okay? Because I know people that have been in business for years and years and still haven't ever really paid themselves from their business. Maybe they've pulled money out a couple of times here and there, but they have no real process for paying themselves regularly. And that means that they are working for free. And I do not believe, my friends, that any business owner should be working for free. Your work has value and you should pay yourself. Now, I know the idea sounds great, of course, but how do we know how much we can pay ourselves? And what if we don't make enough profit to really be able to pay ourselves in a way that we think is reliable? Well, I have some thoughts there, right? So if we are in a place where you don't feel like you have the profit to be able to pay yourself, you're not really sure if you're going to need that money later on in your business, then the very first thing to do is to sit down with your numbers and get really comfortable with them, right? Really understand the ins and outs, see where your money is going. So you want to understand how much money is coming in and where it's coming from, how much money is going out, and really kind of map that out. And you can actually put that on a cash flow spreadsheet or something like that that just shows you, okay, here's how much money I expect to come in this month and how much money I expect to spend this month, and kind of model that out for a few months in advance. And when you do that, you'll be able to see whether or not you've got any potential shortfalls, because those are going to be really important to keep an eye on, because you don't want to take money out of your business and then subsequently have to find a way to put it back in later to be able to pay your bills. So you never want to take too much out of your business. However, you do want to make sure that you're not paying for expenses that really are not providing a return on investment, right? So you want to make sure that the vast majority of the expenses that you have in your business are actually things that are going to generate you more money down the line. Okay. Now, there are certain things that, of course, we have to pay, maybe insurance, things like that are required that maybe aren't really a return on investment, or we may never have a return on that investment, but we need to have them anyway. But there are also a lot of different expenses that really do contribute to the growth of our business, right? When we hire, when we purchase assets that can help us work faster, when we do software that helps us with productivity, there are lots of different investments that we make up front where we see the return on that later down the line. So you don't want to be overcutting those types of expenses, but you do want to cut the types of expenses that really aren't generating you much at all, right? That we're just spending money because we spent the money, and maybe we even forgot that we had a subscription to something that's been renewing every single month, even though we haven't used it in a year. I've done it. No judgment, I promise. So once you have that base profit in mind, this is where you can start figuring out how much you can and should pay yourself each and every month in order to be able to both meet your business goals, save for a rainy day, and also to be able to meet your personal goals and support your lifestyle, okay? So we're gonna take that base profit number and then we're gonna apply a profit planning percentage, okay? My profit plan is a trademarked profit plan. It has 2 F's in it, because of course you need to have 2 F's. My husband says that I should use the tagline for people who give 2 Fs about their business. I don't know. Hopefully YouTube does not censor me from saying that. But anyway, there is a reason for the 2 Fs that we will get to. And each one of these letters stands for something specific. So we're going to quickly run through that. And ultimately, what I want you to do is take that base profit number and add a percentage, right, to add up to 100 for each of the different letters in profit plan. Okay, we're going to go through it real quick. I'm going to tell you what each letter stands for, and then you can think about the percentage that you would want to put towards that. And what you'll probably end up doing is playing around with this a little bit. If you want to work with me on this, I have a freebie. It's totally free, costs you nothing, that you can grab. That is my profit planning template, which walks you through even more in detail than I will today on how to use it. But you can just go to jamietrull.com/profit plan. Again, profit with 2 Fs. And that is where you're going to be able to grab that. So you'll be able to get this spreadsheet. You don't have to do this yourself. I already have it mocked up. I have some examples in there for you, and you can use this to then go and come up with your own profit plan and your own plan for saving money and paying yourself. So first of all, before we get started, these letters are not in any particular order. It's not an order of importance necessarily. It's just how they show up in the word profit. So let's start with letter number 1, which is the P, and that is for pay yourself, which arguably is one of the most important things that you want to make sure that you are doing with the profit in your business. So you're going to put a percentage to that pay yourself. Now, you may not know what that is, but right now I just want you to come up with an idea, right? Look at your base profit amount and think, what would be a great percentage to be able to pay myself in a given month of that profit, right? Is it 50%? Is it 60%? Is it 30%, right? Think about how much you want to be able to pay yourself. And ultimately, that's going to be something that hopefully can sustain your lifestyle. Now, real quick, for my S Corp owners or my C Corp owners that are paying yourself a salary, you can grab the profit plan and it's going to give you some specific directions on how to handle that salary in this calculation so that it makes sense for you, okay? Now, once you've put an amount into the P for pay yourself, the next thing that you're going to want to make sure that you're putting a percentage towards is R for rainy day. You want to be saving for a rainy day. I typically recommend that you have at least 1 to 3 months of your base operating expenses, right? Those recurring operating expenses that you have each and every month. You want those to be saved for in your rainy day fund. Now, that may not be possible straight out the gate, right? That might be something that you put a little bit of a percentage towards each and every month. And as you get closer, you can kind of reduce that percentage. But if you have nothing saved for a rainy day now, I would put a pretty high percentage on that because you want to be really maxing that out before you pay yourself too terribly much, because you just want to be prepared for emergencies. You still want to be able to pay your payroll. You still want to be able to pay your expenses that you can't just cut down overnight if sales dry up for some reason. So make sure that you are putting money into that rainy day fund. And again, you can adjust those percentages later when you get closer to that 1 to 3 months of operating expenses. Now the O is for opportunity. Okay, opportunity. Opportunity is one of my favorite ones. I will say that probably about all of these. But the reason that I like the opportunity fund, because this is where all those additional expenses that aren't really the ongoing expenses, they're the occasional expenses. Maybe you're doing a big new marketing campaign for a short period of time. Maybe you're going to a conference. Maybe you want to take part in a course or a class or a certification, right? Maybe you want to hire someone to help you. So those types of one-off things, right, that at least at the beginning are not typically ongoing, those things you would be saving for in your opportunity fund. And this is really going to depend on how fast your business grows. So the things that you put in your opportunity fund, that is saving for big investments that you want to make. So if you've ever wanted to do something, maybe there was a program you really wanted to take, but you weren't sure if you could afford it, the quick way is to be able to look at your opportunity fund, see how much money is sitting aside in that opportunity fund, and then you can actually know very quickly whether you can afford it or not, right? So my rule is I don't do it. If I can't afford it for my opportunity fund, I wait until next time, okay? So that for me is a really important thing because I want my business to grow. I do put a fairly high percentage into my opportunity fund. You may decide to take more out to pay yourself, but know that when you put more in the pay yourself and less in the opportunity fund, that means that your business will probably grow slower than it would the other way around, right? Especially if you are making sure to invest in things that truly will grow your business. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to put a percentage into your opportunity fund because that is key for growing your business. Okay, now we got the two F's. The two F's. The first F is for future. The second F is for fun. So now you know why we have two F's, because we got to save for some fun. But for future, we are talking about paying off debt. If you have debt, whether that's personal or business debt, you can save for that, and saving for retirement, or maybe it's kids' college fund or something like that, right? So that is what future is for. So depending on how close maybe you are to retirement, that's going to depend on how high that percentage is. Or if you want to retire early, maybe you have a pretty high percentage going into that, and then you are using that to fund perhaps a SEP IRA or something similar. Now onto the fun F, which is fun, right? That's for saving for something fun. And I know a lot of business owners hesitate to put much in the fun fund, but I will tell you that 10 times out of 10, when you have something neat, and I don't just want you to put money into just a fund that you don't know what you're going to do with, name what it's for. Is it for a vacation? Is it for a home renovation project that you want to do? My very first fun fund went to buying a hot tub. I kid you not, okay? It's going to accrue over time. And if you're putting, let's say 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5% or more of the profit that you're making in your business towards something fun and something that you're looking forward to, I promise you, you will actually make more money. It will be more motivating, right, than any of these other things on here. It will be way more motivating even than paying yourself. It will be more motivating than saving for opportunities. It'll definitely be more motivating than saving for retirement or for rainy days, right? So if you're putting money into something that you're looking forward to, that is going to propel you forward to be able to make more money, get more excited about what you're doing in your business. And the fun side effect is your family might get more interested too and more excited about what you do in your business. That was the key behind my hot tub, is that my husband was on board and checking every single day how my business was doing when I did my first launch, because he really wanted to know when we were going to be able to get that hot tub, which I will say is sitting on our back deck right now and is totally worth it. Now, the I is impact. The I in Profit Plan is impact, and impact is really what it sounds like, right? How can you make a greater impact outside of just your business, right? On the world around you, on the causes that you care about. And I believe that every business can be benefited by making sure that a portion of their profits are going towards something positive, right? Whether that is donating to a charity or a cause that you feel really strongly about, or perhaps having some money set aside so that if you wanted to support, right, somebody for free or do some pro bono work, you can do that because you've set some additional money aside for that reason, right? So whatever you want to do with it, maybe it's scholarship funds, right? Anything that you want to do with that, I think it's really, really important, even if you start at 1%, to make that commitment that you are going to put that money towards something bigger than just yourself and your business. And then my least favorite one. We just talked about the best ones. And now we're going to talk about my least favorite one, which is taxes, but I can't leave it out, right? We have to be saving for taxes from our profit. You pay taxes from the profit that you make in your business. Now, how much goes towards that is really going to range. So you're going to want to look at maybe prior tax returns, right? You're going to want to understand what tax bracket you're in. And remember that even if you're in, let's say, the 25% tax bracket, that doesn't mean that all your income will be taxed at 25%. It's just the amount over that tax bracket, okay? So we're not going to get into detail about that today, but you just want to understand what your effective tax rate generally is. And you want to think about state taxes here too, if your state has an income tax. So I live in Tennessee. We have no income tax, yay. But there are a lot of states that have pretty high, hefty income taxes, especially California, New York. You probably want to add a decent amount onto your tax savings for that. So you can work with the CPA on what the appropriate percentage is for you to save. You can look at prior year, or you can just guesstimate, right? Maybe somewhere in the 25 to 35% range. Maybe it's less than that if you're an S Corp and you're already paying some estimated taxes through your payroll, right? So again, that will vary largely, but you want to make sure that you're putting a number in there as well that is going to have you protected. I like to oversave rather than undersave for taxes, because then I'm not making bad decisions towards the end of the year where I'm trying to find any and every tax deduction that I can get just to save money on my taxes and reduce my income, because I've already saved money for those taxes. And therefore, even if I have a big tax bill at the end of the year, if it's less than what I have saved for, right, it feels like I'm getting a refund. So that's the great amazingness of being able to save for your taxes and make sure that you don't accidentally spend that money that you actually are going to need. So there you have it. Again, make sure to grab my profit planning worksheet, jamietrrull.com/profit with 2 F's plan. And also, if you're wondering how I actually do this, right? Do I have all of these different bank accounts? I actually do not. There's a few different ways that you can effectively track these reserves. So you could do it the old-fashioned way and just use a spreadsheet to track how much of your available balance in your bank account, right, you can use for these various things. That's kind of the low-tech way to do it. There are also, tools, budgeting tools out there that you could use, like perhaps YNAB is a really popular one. Or you can get what I use, which is the bank that I use, right, the banking platform that I use for my money with my business account is Novo. So if you go to jamietrrull.com/Novo, that is a referral link. Yes, and I appreciate any support, but that is the banking platform that I use, and they have a special feature that allows you to basically take your income and put it into different buckets. So you can take that cash balance and put it into these various different buckets so that you know what your available balance is, and then you can look and see what is in each one of these separate buckets as well. So I highly recommend Novo. I've been using it for a while. I love the reserve accounts. It's really hard to find anything like that in business banking, and I am not a person that wants to overcomplicate life by having a ton of different bank accounts, and so this was the perfect fit for me. And it's also totally free, which I love as well. I love a good deal. So again, jamietrrull.com/Novo. And I have a whole video going into some of these newer features that Novo has released as well. If you want to find out more about Novo, check out that video. Also, make sure to grab that free profit planning worksheet from me. And that also comes with a tutorial on how to use it. And happy paying yourself.